Welcome to a greatest hits edition of Kent Hance, the best storyteller in Texas.
Bobby Bear, he wrote God Bless America Again, and it came out, and he gets a call from a lawyer in New York City and said, Mr. Bear, do you know who Irving Berlin is? He said, yeah, he's a songwriter, damn good one.
So you have infringed on his rights on God Bless America.
How?
You've copied his song.
I've got a song that says God Bless America Again. It's a different song.
Well, I'm going to cause you a lot of problems.
You're saying that Irving Berlin does not like my song, God Bless America Again.
That's right.
You ain't gonna cause me any problems. My mother died when I was 5 years old, and my dad abandoned me when I was 14. And you think you're gonna cause me problems? Maybe he'll like my new songs. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas again. Easter bonnet again. He just named every Irving Berlin song he could think of and put again on it. Anyway, the guy hung up and they never called him back. They never heard
from him again.
No. In 1980, when I was a U.S. Congressman representing Lubbock and part of Midland, Odessa, there was a vote came up on the Fair Housing Act, and that you couldn't discriminate on selling houses or renting houses. I had a background. I knew. I remembered when it was hard to go into a restaurant and that we would get waited on if Junior was with us. And so I knew what it was all about. And I voted for the Fair Housing Act. It passed by one vote, and I was proud of that vote. I always said at the time, it's easier to defeat racism and terrorism if you've got education. If people are well educated and meet other people that don't look like them or don't act like them or have the same language, and get to know them, it's hard to hate people that you know. He anticipated anything could happen, and that's what he told me. I said, did you anticipate? He said, I'd been told that you might ask any questions, And I asked a young guy one time, I said, you still smoking marijuana? And he said, yes, sir. I just kept going. I didn't, it kind of threw him off. He got his attention.
Yeah.
He thought, this is an unusual interview. So I'm an unusual guy. And Jim Baker, who I mentioned, was chief of staff, he set it up for us to have a little press conference. And I said, as the person carrying the bill for president, I want to announce that we picked up 6 additional votes to vote for President Reagan's tax cut. And Sam Donaldson, who was an ABC reporter and meaner than a junkyard dog, he looked at Bro and he said, Congressman, did you sell your vote? And John Bro just looked at him and said, nope, I just rented it out for a while. Snake was kind of an armchair philosopher, and in Demeter was a place, the VFW, called it the V. You go out there and drink beer, and on Tuesday nights, they'd read the National Enquirer. It'd come in and talk about it, sit around a couple of tables, there'd be 10, 20 people. And one night, the main story in the National Enquirer was a guy that in Kansas, that a UFO had picked him up and flew him to Miami, New York, Seattle, LA, and back to Kansas in less than an hour. And so everybody's laughing about it, and they said, that whether they believed it or not. And some said, I believe there's UFOs out there, and I believe in, I don't believe this guy, but I believe there's flying saucers. And anyway, somebody asked Snake, what do you believe? And he said, I don't know. I've never seen one, much less gone riding in one. And someday I may see a flying saucer or UFO, and I may even go riding in one. But I'll be dadgummit if I tell anybody.
We hope you enjoyed this greatest hits edition of Kent Hance, the best storyteller in Texas. Find us on Instagram at Best Storyteller Podcast. Also, like and subscribe to this podcast. We release new episodes every Monday.